When you look at women who appear to be faking it or performing femininity, what stands out the most? Is it obvious to you when someone is just playing a role?
I think it happens through situations. How you would expect a woman, to react in a manner of a woman compared to how they really react. So if you're, expressing yourself in a conflict, and you see that she feels the need to cut you off, talk down on you, and raise her voice, it shows that she doesn't have too much respect for men or a man, in a sense. And it's like no man wants to step on toes of a woman in conversation. It wants to leave it, either be balanced, I would say, or enough to where as though you can feel where I'm coming from as a man. But I feel like it's through conflict, mostly, in my opinion, where you'll find out the truth about that.
Okay. Same question to you, Brother Hink. When you look at women who appear to be faking it or performing femininity, what stands out the most? Is it obvious to you when someone is just playing a role?
Yeah, it's normally obvious because when you ask certain questions, I put them in certain situations. Uh, you can tell by some of the answers how they respond, how they carry themselves, how they deal with certain issues that you present to them, and so that's going to let you know, well, this is all for show, or you just did it just long enough to get me or to pull me in or something like that, or just to get my attention. And at the moment, and then once you have my attention, you know your true colors will show. So yeah, most times you can really see right through it because they, like I said, they most of them can't hold water, man. And so when they try, you can see them just biting their lip just to try to hold on long enough to get the dude to say I do. But then some dudes fall for it. They fall for it until the end, and then they just suffer. But most time, most men see right through it. Men that are aware, and then men who know what to be looking for anyway.
Hmm.
What's your thought on it, JL?
I'm sitting there thinking because I see two different versions of it, right? I think there's a space. I think the women that you see in the space and the women that you see around, I think when you see it unfold differently with them. Like my thought is that women who you see in these predominantly male spaces, they're here for a reason. They're here for a reason, and the reason may be different, but they typically respond. They respond different from people that's not watching podcasts. And when the fakeness comes out, it's obvious. It's obvious when the fakeness comes out. You're typically having a regular conversation with them, and you will see them in a different light. But once you have like a conversation and they get triggered or something you say that doesn't sit right with them, then that's when you see the real version of them come out. People that's outside of podcasts and not on the space, you see it, but you see it in a different way. As far as them, I don't think they're playing a role. I think they are who they are. And when you meet them, I think that over time you just start to see it to unfold and unpack. But I don't think that they putting on a show. I think the people that actually watch podcasts and trying to figure out what this femininity is all about, you typically see those women that try to mimic what's the conversations that men are having and that's being had online. You see them trying to mimic it, but they haven't been able to have enough time to master it to even fake it. Once you trigger it, it's like you begin to crash out at that point. And so it's really hard to uphold an image of you that was never you.
Do you know why that is? That is
Me?
because,
Okay.
yeah. Do you know why that is?
I mean, if you was going to give me some insight, go ahead.
I was just going to say, a lot of the times it's because a lot of the what it takes to be feminine, there's a lot of characteristics that make up that, and you can't just watch something and then all of a sudden be like, I'm going to do it. You got to make the choice to become that and live through that for the rest of your life. And the issue with that is, to Kai's point, who are you when it comes to conflict? And you first have to have great conflict resolution skills. Two, be able to understand that not every time, not just because you have the last word doesn't mean you won the argument. Three, it's not about right. God damn, Percy. And then also because a lot of times it just comes with like morals, standards, what people would call like home training, right? Like respect and there's a lot of things, like it's just your characteristics. I do believe people can change, though. I do believe if you want something bad enough, you can be anything that you want to be, and you can accomplish anything you want to accomplish. And if you do have things to work on within yourself, I don't feel that you're a lost cause. I feel that if you want to go ahead and accomplish something, whether it's I want to be better at how I deal with this, or I want to be able to talk to a man and get him to understand, maybe even just ask the men in your family or the people that you do respect around you, how do you feel I can work on this, or what could I do better? Because a lot of times we watch podcasts and these podcasts don't even say anything. They're like saying toxic shit and putting shit in people's ear. All it takes is to watch the wrong one, and then you're just adding more shit to the shit that you already have.
I got a question for the women. What's going on, Vez? I'll get to you in a second, sir. Thank you. There's a concept of performative femininity where women try to fit into a certain mode or role. Have you ever felt the pressure to perform femininity, especially in relationships? How does that affect your sense of self-worth? Start with you, Vaughn. I'll repeat it again just to give you a little bit more time to digest that. I know it's a lot. There's this concept of performative femininity where the woman try to fit into a certain mode or role. Have you ever felt the pressure to perform femininity, especially in relationships? How does that affect your sense of self-worth?
I think women feel the pressure of being in their femininity every day, especially if they're not coming from relationships that they've had experience in. I feel like, if you're stepping up to say something or giving advice or giving anything that a man feels that should be more something they should say, if you're giving that example or experience, or giving, like, telling them something that they should do, then some men take that as masculine, and they'll tell you that. So then now you're questioning yourself, or you're second guessing yourself. Should I have said that? You asking other people, are you tripping? Like, was this masculine or was it feminine? My suggestions, was they not a good thing in this situation? Like, so now that's where you're questioning yourself. Like, okay, maybe I should have just been passive here, and I should have just been more receptive instead of just giving my opinion. Like, should I shut up? Should I say it? Should I not say it? So that's where we're questioning ourselves, because if the response is not given and taken from us, then now we're questioning ourselves. So I think that happens in most relationships.